So today's like a full-time work day.
Except for the opening circle.
Yeah.
So we'll have our opening circle and then full-time work. Because our time is so short, so I want to make sure people can really dig in. This project exists to do some joint learning together with the Kettering Foundation around the idea of youth and adult partnership being a true fundamental example of participatory democracy. We are looking at 3 different specific communities that have at their core a very representative group of youth and adults. One of those projects is a team called the Youth and Family Engagement Team, which is in Burlington, Vermont.
I feel like here, you have a voice what you say. So like, if you want to say something, you're able to say that here, but like, maybe like in school, you might feel like, oh, if I say this, would I get in trouble? If I like try calling out a teacher, would I get in trouble? What will happen to me? Would they like bring my grade down?
The Youth and Family Engagement Team is a group of middle school and high school youth from Burlington and family caregivers, school staff and leaders, school board members, community partners that come together monthly. Last time we left off with coming up with our actions, different actions we could take to increase opportunities for BIPOC youth to access honors and AP courses and those pathways, right?
There's lots of great kids that have lots of potential that could be in those jobs, but they're not really given them because they're not given the opportunity or the help they need.
They first worked on what does it mean to work together to create change as youth and families. Those are often 2 voices that are really missing from the equation in school change, youth and family voice. And then they created their priorities for change, and then they are working together, truly collaboratively, to create change around their priority areas.
I see that in most of the graphs, I see that Hot Middle School is up there. Like, it's always like the biggest one on here.
It's right here. This is all HMS right here. Wow. EMS. HMS.
Having those relationships as a foundation is just incredible in terms of building a better functioning learning community. That's a community of practice that like everyone is on the same page and it's like pure accountability. Instead of the teacher being like, listen to me, I got something to teach you. You have another student saying, hey, let's do this together.
Yeah, some of these questions were very generic and basic. What can you do to satisfy both of their needs? So, yeah.
As I told you before, my son was experiencing suspending one day home because there was a group of kids were fighting and they were just cheering off, the kids fight.
The goal of this project was to really ensure that the voices that are not always at the table are part of this team so that we can capture their priorities. They can then go out and capture more information from their peers and their community about the priorities and what needs to change and what it should look like.
I think of this as like a place where we can come together and connect on like a different level. A place where like I can be heard and like other students can be heard by like adults in our district because that doesn't really happen very often.
When there's a bunch of people with PhDs around a table talking about what's best for students, you hear that all the time. What's best for students is, and there's no students there. It's kind of ironic, and I think that people can make errors. So really, what we're working toward is a system where all stakeholders, all parties have equal voices, that we're working to like name inequities in our systems and do a better job at addressing them.
The campaign is about changing the message around AP and honors classes so that everyone feels that they can do it. So it's changing the language probably in the course of study. It's also changing the message.
I think what we're doing at UP is crucial for education. We're involving youth voice. So often in schools, which have sort of operated in the same models for decades and decades and are really resistant to change. So often they don't include youth voice in decision making, whether that's around curriculum, whether that's around the schedule, whether that's around assessment. And youth are the primary recipients of education, so it does seem kind of silly and unfair that they don't have more of a voice. So our goal is to essentially bring youth voice into the equation, as well as the wisdom and experience of adults. So bringing those together, we believe, is going to make education better for everybody.